Hola amigo, welcome back to Mabelreact. I'm Mabel, and today we are going to Philippines. 10 countries forcing Filipinos to return home in 2025. Why would anybody force somebody to go home? And I want to find out what it's about. Before we get into it, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button as well. And
what happens when 10 major nations suddenly decide they don't want Filipino workers anymore? It's already
why?
happening, and the numbers are staggering. Over 300,000 Filipinos are being forced to return home in 2025.
How will you
These
say
aren't
forced?
voluntary departures, these are forced exits from countries where Filipinos have worked for generations. The country number 1 will make you want to cry. 10. Malaysia. Malaysia introduced the Malaysian First Employment Policy in 2025, prioritizing local workers over foreign labor. This decision significantly impacted Filipino workers, particularly those in the retail sector. Many OFWs found their work permits revoked, leaving them scrambling to make plans within a strict 30-day departure notice. The abrupt
That's
enforcement
serious.
of this policy caught many Filipinos off guard. The lack of transition time caused significant stress, financial instability. Thousands of Filipino workers are being displaced under these policies, marking a challenging period for the OFW community. Malaysia's policy highlights the tension between supporting local employment and valuing migrant contributions. Despite their role in strengthening the economy, Filipinos are being forced to leave, leaving many uncertain about their futures. Malaysia's shift underscores the tension between supporting local employment and valuing the contributions of migrant workers. Despite their role in strengthening the economy, Filipinos are being forced to leave, marking a challenging period for the OFW community. 9. Taiwan. Taiwan's manufacturing and
I don't really like the fact that he's saying being forced, because you can only be forced out of a place when you don't have all the requirements you need to be there, like your passport and your permit and all that. So you can't be forced out of it. Yeah, I like the fact that most country or the countries, they want to develop their nation and they want to have local workers, which is very, very okay. But foreigners are also part of the community. Once they come there and they live there and they are also part of the community. So I don't think there is any foreigner or any Filipino that will be in Malaysia that will want the country to go down, because anybody that is leaving his or her country is coming to seek for greener pasture. So them coming that they will have to work diligently in order to earn and survive and also achieve their goal. That will also help to grow the economy, right? But let's keep
industrial
watching.
sectors have long relied on Filipino workers, but 2025 brought dramatic changes. The government slashed factory worker quotas by 60%, leaving thousands of Filipinos uncertain about their future employment prospects. A stricter skills verification system introduced this year increased costs and barriers for many workers previously meeting the criteria. For those unable to pass, there are no options but to return home under significant financial strain. Estimates suggest tens of thousands of Filipinos are being affected by these policies. Taiwan's mandatory return policy after contract completion further complicates matters. Filipinos who once renewed contracts or sought new opportunities now face limited options, disrupting their livelihoods and long-term plans. Taiwan's mandatory return policy after contract completion further complicates matters. Filipinos who once renewed contracts or sought other opportunities now face limited options, disrupting their livelihoods and plans for long-term stability. The abrupt nature of this policy has left many scrambling to make arrangements and return to the Philippines without a clear plan for their next steps. Impact of these changes continues to reverberate through Filipino communities worldwide. 8. South Korea. South Korea's decision to phase out E9 visas in 2025 has left many Filipino workers in limbo. These visas were vital for Filipinos working in factories and manual labor, but their elimination has significantly reduced opportunities for OFWs. The rise of factory automation has also replaced many traditional jobs, reducing the need for foreign labor. despite years of dedicated service. Filipino workers are finding themselves sidelined as industries embrace technological advancements over manpower. Estimates indicate that thousands of Filipino workers will be displaced as a result, adding to the difficulties South Korea has imposed stricter language requirements, making it harder for OFWs to qualify for jobs. These changes are forcing many to leave, marking the end of an era for Filipinos contributing to South Korea's economic growth. To add to the difficulties, South Korea has imposed stricter language requirements, making it harder for OFWs to qualify for jobs. These changes have forced many to leave the country, marking the end of a chapter for Filipinos contributing to South Korea's economic growth. 7. Japan. Japan's caregiving trainee program was a lifeline for many Filipinos, but its termination in 2025 has closed a significant avenue of employment. This program not only provided jobs but also allowed Filipinos to support Japan's aging population. Another hurdle is the new tax.
Some of them come with contracts, and after the contract, they want to remain. Yeah, some people use such opportunity to travel, and when they finish the job or whatever they want to do, they will not want to come back. They will try to look for another work there. So if people like that are being caught, they're supposed to, they can go back. But not someone that came in, applied for visa, applied for work and got a job, and now come because of one change in the policies, the person will now go back. I don't think it's the way he's presenting it. It's not like forcing them out, like bundling them out the way they're saying. But let's keep watching.
Another hurdle is the new tax system targeting foreign workers. This policy has increased financial burdens for OFWs, making it more challenging to save or send money back to their families. Combined with Japan's high cost of living, many Filipinos are finding it hard to stay. Stricter visa renewal policies have added further complications. With reduced quotas and higher standards, fewer Filipinos are able to extend their stay, pushing them to return home, despite their invaluable contributions to Japan's labor force. 6. Kuwait. Kuwait's mass deportation of domestic workers in 2025 has
the one of tax, and if you feel like you're not getting the greener of the pasture that you came to look for, you are free to go back. Maybe in your country you get a better opportunities, and yeah, this one, I understand this one totally, because sometimes, like the way they are increasing taxes and all that things, it might not, maybe when you calculate the money you're getting at the end of the month and it's not enough to sort you out, then once you need to work, you need to either look for a way to fix yourself or go back home. These are the only two options. Please now have stricter visa policies, new visa policies, and it's always difficult to renew their visa. But some people get the visa easily. So it all depends on how you come into a country. That is when you are going to be having problem when it comes to visa and renewal and all that. Yeah.
Proportionately affected Filipinos. Many have had to leave abruptly, disrupting their livelihoods and families. This policy reflects Kuwait's increasingly hardline stance on migrant workers. The introduction of age restrictions for workers has further complicated matters. Filipinos in their late 40s and older are finding themselves disqualified from continuing their employment regardless of their years of service. These rules have left many long-term OFWs with no choice but to return home. Additionally, Kuwait's zero-tolerance policy on overstays has intensified the pressure. The penalties are severe, and many Filipinos unable to navigate the new rules have been forced to leave under difficult circumstances. 5. Hong Kong. Hong Kong has reduced its domestic helper quota in 2025, directly impacting Filipino workers. This reduction has limited opportunities, with many families unable to hire or retain their helpers due to stricter regulations. New minimum income requirements for employers have made it harder for households to afford domestic helpers. This change has indirectly pushed Filipinos out of jobs as fewer
Why does this person think that it's only Filipinos that all these things are affecting? It's affecting everybody all over the world now.
employers can meet the new financial
It's
criteria.
affecting everybody.
Additionally, housing restriction enforcement. has worsened the situation. Stricter rules have made living conditions difficult for OFWs, forcing many to leave Hong Kong after years of dedicated service. 4.
Okay.
Bahrain's phase out of Filipino workers in 2025 marks a dramatic shift in its labor policies. This move has left many OFWs without the opportunity to renew contracts, effectively
Okay.
ending their time in the country. Property ownership restrictions have also made it difficult for Filipinos to
Bahrain.
establish long-term roots in Bahrain. Combined with family visa cancellations, many families have been forced to separate or leave altogether, disrupting lives and futures despite their contributions. To Bahrain's economy, Filipinos are being excluded from the workforce, highlighting the challenges of navigating migration policies that prioritize local citizens over foreign workers. 3. Saudi
That's not
Arabia.
nice.
Saudi Arabia's saudization initiative in 2025 targets 12 key sectors, leaving thousands of Filipino workers displaced. These sectors, previously open to OFWs, are now being reserved for Saudi nationals, significantly reducing opportunities for Filipinos. Restrictions on domestic worker roles have further tightened, with many Filipinos unable to renew their contracts. This policy shift has forced a significant number of OFWs to return home, ending their careers in Saudi Arabia. Adding to the difficulties, limitations on religious practices and community events have.
Okay. Yeah, the same thing I was saying. There is no there is no way or nowhere it is written that this policies only affects Filipinos. It affects everybody. And I had in my comment when somebody said that some of these things are not actually true. It might not be the way the presenter is presenting it, but it is also not nice that if things like this are actually happening, because we all need each other. They are part of the growth of the country. And I don't think it's only them that is the travel restrictions and all that is affecting every part of the world. So many countries are deporting so many people now, saying illegal migrants. And if you come in the illegal way, that means you have problem, and that's when you will be afraid of all these things. And
made it harder for Filipinos to maintain their support networks. These changes have created an environment that feels increasingly unwelcome. 2. United Arab Emirates. The UAE's emiratisation policy in 2025 has affected over 85,000 jobs, prioritizing locals in key sectors like banking, retail, and government roles. This shift has displaced many Filipino workers, leaving them with limited options to remain employed. Family visa restrictions have made it harder for OFWs to maintain their households in the UAE. Many families have been forced to separate or return to the Philippines due to the high costs and strict regulations. Additionally, the localization of industries has reduced opportunities for Filipino professionals. With fewer available roles, many are compelled to leave, ending their aspirations of a stable life in the UAE. 1. Qatar. Qatar's workforce reduction following the 2022 World Cup has left many OFWs jobless in 2025. Filipinos working in construction and hospitality have been hit hardest, as these sectors no longer require large numbers of workers. The introduction of Qatar only policies has reserved key industries for Qatari nationals, significantly reducing opportunities for foreigners. These industries include construction, hospitality, and retail, where many Filipinos previously found employment. This shift has made it nearly impossible for Filipinos to find new employment. To make matters worse, Qatar has implemented a
the way
complete
he said
ban
that they
on.
have made a new ban on hiring Filipinos workers, it's as if they have something against Filipinos. All these things are not true. Like, guys, I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true, unless the countries are having issues or having crisis.
This policy effectively ends any hope for OFWs seeking opportunities in the country, solidifying Qatar as the leading nation, forcing Filipinos to return home in 2025. What do you think is the biggest challenge for Filipino workers returning home?
So yeah, these things could be mere assumptions. Could be mere assumptions, because I don't think there is a country that will come and decide that, oh, this country, we don't want to see you, or even if you're here, we're chasing you, go back to your country. I don't think so. So all these things could be mere assumption, maybe due to the new policies that so many countries are implementing, especially on travel visa and all those things. Maybe that's why the presenter is saying that. But I don't think it's as bad as he's presenting it, Sha. I know Filipinos are very humble people. They are very hard workers, especially. They are very caring, very patient people, especially the ones in the healthcare system. Maybe that's why most of these countries are just not finding it funny anymore, because they feel like they are taking their rights, which is not so. That is just a feeling, it's not so. I just hope all these things are just not real, sure. But anyway, tell me in the comment section, are you a Filipino? Do you have anyone who had any challenges like this and that was returned home or deported due to any of these things that this presenter presented? Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next.